Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Allen, and welcome back to What a Thought. I am a little tired because I just drove back to the campus, to the college campus. Uh, I went and saw a friend over Thanksgiving break. Haley, if you're listening, hi, hello, friend of the channel, Haley. Often pops up as a commenter here on What a Thought and What a Book, sometimes over on the other one on the Soloist channel, and sometimes over on Twitch as my moderator. I stopped by, hung out with them, had a really good time. It was a great weekend. Had a lot of fun after staying up here to work because sometimes you really need money because Christmas time is approaching and you have a really good job that isn't able to pay you too well, and it's not their fault. It is their overlords. Yeah. But anyway, it was nice. But I'm tired because I drove back here for a while. I left early. I essentially woke up and immediately got dressed and was like, goodbye to a sleeping person and walked out the door. Which is to some people mean, but to others fully understandable because it's the last day of Thanksgiving break. Everyone and their mothers, quite literally, are driving home. Uh, it's just the nature of the beast. I have to sadly start. Not start. I already started. Can you tell my brain is frazzled? Well, firstly, I'd like to say I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I hope it was great. I hope everyone had a good time, and all that other fun jazz. I had a nice time. Uh, I've never not had Thanksgiving with my own family. It was the first time ever. So it was a weird feeling. I got the messages from my mother and my older siblings wishing me thanks and whatnot on the wondrous day that was Thanksgiving. So I still heard from them. It was weird to not be there. It's a little hard to get down there and get back cost wise. But yeah, I had a nice time. I hope everyone else out there had good Thanksgivings. I hope you had fun. Hope you guys ate plenty. And every other set of words that I'm blanking on saying. Now I have to start this portion with sad news. That really bogged me down at the start of this week because it was very unexpected. But Jason David Frank passed away. He's well known for playing Tommy Oliver across multiple iterations of the Power Rangers series, starting off originally over in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver as a villain for Rita Repulsa before he turned good and then died and was brought back Jesus style as the White Ranger. They still have never given any full information for that. But he passed away on Monday, which was highly unexpected. It hit me a lot. It was weird. Obviously 2 weeks ago, I spoke about the fact that Kevin Conroy passed, and Kevin Conroy was a big staple of most people who are a little older than me, but then also me myself, their childhood, as the most iconic voice of Batman ever. Like he is Batman. But as someone who grew up on Power Rangers, who even now still loves Power Rangers, I am just a little too determined to try and find anything that'll let me have access to all the shows. They used to all be on Netflix and now they're not all there, so I was trying to watch them in order. I was really determined, and then they disappeared, which was sad, but I knew it was eventually going to happen because nothing stays on a single streaming platform for long, which is really disappointing. I have water. I'm going to drink some water. But Jason David Frank was a massive part of my childhood personally. As I've said, I love the Power Rangers. I still do. I remember how often I watched that Power Rangers, the movie, on VHS in my mother's house. and only reason I ever want to try and find a VHS player again is to watch that movie. I've watched so much Power Rangers. I've always had fun pointing out, like, when I see certain actors in other places. Like, I forget the name of the actress that's in RPM, but she's also the main character, Liv Moore in iZombie. The Red Ranger, also from RPM, is over in Jessica Jones on Netflix. I forget the name of the man who plays the Red Ranger in SPD, but he's in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. And something else that I saw, I can't remember off the top of my head. But just, like, getting to see all these people, like, at other places has always been fun to me. But Jason David Frank has always been someone who, he is a Power Ranger through and through. He's always been connected to the franchise. He's shown up whenever they've summoned him, he's there. And so it was a real sad downer to see that he had passed. I didn't read what had happened. I can only make my assumptions based on the few bits and pieces of information that I got when I first read an article last week, when it was, breaking news. And to the best of my abilities, I'd say that's not how I, as a fan, am going to remember Jason David Frank. I'm not going to remember him as, at the end, for whatever got him to that point. That's not what I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember the man who defined a childhood, who defined a legacy that could never be touched, and that could never be changed. And I'm grateful for that. Grateful to have the opportunity to have seen all those things. I wish that there was a day where I could have had the chance to meet him, but that is not so. Not until I reach the end of my own life, and I'll see him there, I guess. But yeah, it was the sad start to my week last week. It kind of permeated in my head for like the next couple of days when I went to work. It was just, it hurts. But I know that the things that have been built, the Power Rangers legacy that exist around Jason David Frank will live on for forever. And for that, I am grateful. I am grateful I can sit here and witness that carry on his behalf. So yeah, may Mr. Jason David Frank rest in peace. May we say a solid goodbye to Tommy Oliver and his time as the Ranger of a generation. Yeah, that's how I'm choosing to start here. Obviously, I know Power Rangers is still going, like the show. I understand that there are people out there who don't care about Power Rangers, and that's fine. I just like to take a moment to talk about people that pass, especially people that are central to the things that I do and such. I'm a big movie person. I'm a big television person. I write. I do cinema. That's my thing. That's what I'm schooling for. I love video games. I enjoy Batman. So like all those things, it kind of comes to a boil, and then it's like, oh, well, here's this new information, and whoopsies, I guess. And then you guys get to hear about it. You get to truly hear what a wild thought runs through my head. Yeah. So that's Jason David Frank. What else is in this list? It is a little less sad. My tone isn't sad, it's just tired. I am incredibly exhausted. But luckily I made it back when I chose to leave early so that the sun was still up. And I put ice in my water because I knew it would be delicious. Sorry. What else is on here? People who post concerts to their stories. Yeah, what a step down from the topic we were just on, I know. But I'll bring it up quick. Ironically, someone else, not the person who garnered me typing this thought down, posted a whole stories worth of them at a concert yesterday. Um, yeah, sometime between last night and this morning. And I just tapped through it really fast because I hate that. And I know other people do too, because I've seen other people tap through things like that really fast. But we get it. We understand. You had fun. I will never want people to think that I don't want people to have fun. Everyone should have fun. Sorry, I picked up my phone to look at the other notes in there and got really distracted. Everyone should have fun. Okay, if you go to a concert, you should enjoy yourself. If you go to the theater, you should enjoy yourself. If you go to see a movie, you should enjoy yourself. You should always enjoy yourself in the things that you do. But hey, take I don't know, 2 photos. Take 2. Maybe take 1 video. I'd be fine with that. And then keep it to yourself. And then when you go talk to your friends about it, you can be like, you guys want to see a photo from it? Because there would be nothing more awkward than to talk about it and then just have them respond like, oh yeah, I saw it on your story. Because that's weird. And also, I hate tapping through it. And I know everyone else does, but they're too polite to say it. I won't lie, I've sometimes spammed a thing on my story. And by that I mean pictures I've taken of a forest. Because I'm apparently 66 years old, you know? Do you like that silence? That's me typing something. I'm 66 years old, and, hate fun. But I don't hate fun. I love fun. But, oh, lordy. Just stop. We get it. Take a breather. I don't want to listen to a concert through your phone recording where all I can hear is you singing along to it and have a good time. I would have just gone to the concert. I would have stood next to you. That would have been a very different experience. Because there's something incredibly different about me being, or anyone in general, being also present to witness you having a good time at the concert, because I'd also be having a good time. And it's not even a thing of oh, well, I couldn't have it, so why did you get to? No, it's just annoying. I hate scrolling through that stuff. I'm fine with it on Instagram when it's a post, because then I can just keep swiping. At least then I'm I made the conscious choice to stop and look through this post because I saw something. But in other instances where I'm just tapping through stories, because people, you end up with a lot of people on Snapchat sometimes, and you're looking at their stories, you're seeing the things that they're talking about. Sometimes someone pops up that you don't normally see pop up, and then all of a sudden you're in 3 minutes worth of tapping because someone has posted a concert through their story. And I can't even remember the concert that led to me writing this down specifically, but it was so long. I was tapping long enough that I physically thought about how long I was tapping through the concert that they had posted to their story. And I was this is too much. I was you need to calm down, whoever you were. Why did you post so much? Why did you record so much? Do you know how long you have to hold your phone and not enjoy yourself to record something in a fashion where I can tell what it is? It's a long time. I make short films for classes. I know how long it takes. That's so much more effort than you should ever put in. You should just enjoy yourself. I understand that our generation, because I know I'm a part of it, our generation really lives on the idea of sharing these moments. That's cool. That's fine. But there's a certain degree of sharing the moment. And sometimes you should just have the moment for yourself. I've never truly understood the people that take photos when they go to see a movie and they're going to see so and so, and I'm okay, cool, I guess. Glad to know. Was I supposed to be invited? Why did you post this? Why was this the thing that you felt necessary to share? Or when they take the photo afterwards and they're oh my god, this movie was so good, 10 out of 10, you guys should go see it. It's okay, that's nice. Thank you for this random photo of your feet up on the back of a chair. in a movie theater, you know someone has to clean that, right? But yeah. don't do that. Just go enjoy yourself. Go have fun. There's not a single photo from when I went and saw Scream 5. I realize I need to say that. I can't just say Scream. Everyone will think I was born in 1980. When I went to see Scream 5 at the beginning of the year, there's no photo evidence of that, but there's my verbal story, you know? I can tell you guys, yeah, I went and saw it. I sat in the theater. I went by myself. I wasn't having a good day, but that was a really good movie and it made me feel better. I can say that. And you suddenly have a very different story than if I was supposed to phone and be like, about to see Scream 5. Like, oh my god, Scream 5 was so good. I don't know why I went into that stereotypical young lady voice. Ironically, the person that I see doing the movie one the most is a man. It's a guy. There's also a girl, but it's mainly a guy. And that's funny that's what my brain went to. I also just burped and hiccuped, and I don't want to die. So I'm gonna... Okay, cool. I didn't die. I'm good. No death for me. Really hoping that I can get to the next What a Thought and not have another famous person pass away. I know there was a gap period where I didn't, but it feels weird because in my head I'm like, yeah, we had the Queen, and then we had Kevin Conroy, and then we had Jason David Frank, and it always happens in the midpoint, so like between What a Thoughts, which always makes me feel uncomfortable to talk about it later. Anyways, I have a bad desktop. Oh yeah, I do. I forgot I wrote that down. I have a solid desktop. I have an okay desktop for doing only the things that I do and nothing more. If I even make an attempt to do anything more than what I already do, aka make videos using something that captures everything all at once and doesn't use up too much RAM, streaming in that same thing that doesn't use too much RAM, and then using Reaper, which, hey, shout out to Reaper. This is episode 39 of What a Thought, which is kind of wild, and I don't know what a book we're on technically, since, you know, every book resets the numbers. But it's kind of wild to have gotten this far, and that's all thanks to Reaper. I'm not sponsored. I'm also not sponsored by the Taco Bell that fueled me to get back here. But if I wanted to do anything more, I'd have to get a new desktop, which is really sad because I have no money. I was looking at the parts to build a desktop once, and the amount that it came up to would max out my credit card. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know there was a possible thing that could occur to max it out in one purchase. But it would exceed it, and I wouldn't be able to make the purchase for the best, because obviously if it's that high, I can't afford it. The fact that I stated something about a credit card and not a debit card means I would not be able to afford it, and that would not be good, because then paying it off would take probably my whole life, or would mess me up financially, and then I'd be struggling for like ever, and that would just be the way that the cookie crumbles. That hurts. I've just looked at a thing, and it hurts me. Oof. That's all I can say to that. An actual, literal oof noise. I want to upgrade my desktop. I would like to. I used to edit videos for me, and sometimes other people. Other people would ask me, and I'd do something quick in Premiere, but Premiere is expensive. Even as a student, $30 every month adds up very quickly, especially, and this was my big issue with the idea of buying Premiere. As a student in classes who doesn't have the time to make projects on his own, I'm making like 2, 3, maybe 4 projects a semester. Paying $30 is not worth it. Even looking at just last semester, I made 2 projects. I didn't edit either one. Someone else who had Premiere did it. But that's 2 projects. That would be $120 to keep Premiere going. And yeah, I know I do this stuff for my channel. Like, I make a video every single day, which, hey, would be insane to try and edit on Premiere every single day like that. That's why I use OBS. But I couldn't even if I wanted to, because my desktop would explode. I tried the Black Magic one, and my desktop nearly exploded. But, that one isn't nearly as expensive, which is why I tried it. But it is not meant for my type of device. No siree, not me and my 10th Gen i3 processor. Oh boy. I joked, I had a friend talk about like, oh, we should game together. And I was like, on what console? He was like, no, on PC. And I was like, no. I could maybe play a game with you if it's running itself like it's 2002. But if I tried to play anything new on this system, it will explode. I watched it struggle to play a game on Cool Math Games. That was a moment. I had never thought that could occur. I was like, Cool Math Games? You're struggling over here? Oh no. So I can only imagine what would happen if I tried to do anything more. It's good for what I need to do. And that's perfectly fine. But eventually, one day, in the future, when I have more money, I would and do intend to upgrade it. And it's really funny because I have a really nice mouse and keyboard. Like, they sit in front of me, and then I look at the desktop they're attached to, and I'm like, this feels like overkill. Like, this is funny to look at. You know that type of like funny where you're like, this isn't right in any fashion. It's that kind. You're watching someone pull up in a vehicle that's falling apart, but they open the hood and it's got a BMW like sparkling brand new engine inside, and it's like, why did you do that? Except it's the other way around. I've pulled up in a really nice casing, and inside is a potato. My engine is a potato with a couple of wires, and it sits in a bucket of water to pass the current through it. And that's what spins my engine, and I go 5 miles per hour, and no more. And no less, because the brakes will cut off the potato if I hit them. I don't know where I was going with that. Me scrolling back up and seeing all the ones that I've been avoiding, like, back at the top. Because I don't have the time. I get lazy. It happens. Those ones that are sitting at the top are the ones that I need to go Googling for. I need to go find information because I can give you my thoughts, but I also have to provide actual fact to them, because otherwise they could ruin people. They could give a bad image. I say as though there isn't only no more than like 3-4 people that listen to me talk. Yeah. That was all of that sentence. I'm going to drink more water. I did not want to drink this water the entire drive, and I got here and put ice on it. Ice on it? Ice in it, and was immediately like, this is the best water I've ever had. I think subconsciously it's because I didn't want to need to pee. Do you hate that feeling? Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? When you're going on an extended drive and you prep, you're like, here's my drink, here's my snack, because I don't want to pull over too often to go get food. But then as you're going along, you're like, well, I'm sitting here for hours. If I drink this water, I'm going to need to pee. And you don't want to pee. You don't want to stop to pee. No one wants to stop to pee. That's ridiculous. It's like, no. You want to keep going. You want to get to your destination if you're a guy, I think. I don't think any lady agrees with me. If you do, tell me down below in the comments. If you agree with that thought process, that no one wants to stop to pee, you want to just get to the destination no matter how long it is. I, usually in my treks back and forth between the campus in Illinois and where I live in Florida, 2 very different places, will only stop to pee when I need gas, which is terrible for your bladder, and I know that. Which means I only ever stop twice. maybe 3 times if I decide to fill up before pulling into the driveway or onto campus. But no more than that. There's no need. I don't see a need. I'm so determined every single time. I'm like, I need to get here. This is my destination. And I don't want to stop that often. That also uses up more gas, personally. You know, I try to hit everything in one go. I'm like, okay, I need gas. So at this stop, I'm going to get gas. I'm going to use the restroom. And then I'm going to use my phone while the tank fills to see where the nearest food item place is. I said food item place. Fast food restaurant. Anything else but food item place would have been perfectly fine. What kind of thought process was that, brain? Food item place. I sound like an NPC in an unfinished video game. Oh yes, to finish that quest you must go to the food item place. That was a slightly racist accent. I apologize. I don't know why that came out like that. Usually I go for accents that match my tone of skin, which means I just imitate my mother and try to be Caribbean or Sebastian the Crab. It gets worse with every word that leaves my mouth. But I'll use my phone to try and find a fast food restaurant, fast food place, one of those. Take your pick, insert. And I'll see what's close. Usually Taco Bell, because I have a thought process, and I know, some people will be like, whoa, Taco Bell, that's bad for your bowels. That sounds awful to have on a road trip. And what I tell you is, yes, it is, but it is also one of the few places where the waste of your eating will just be a wrapper. And also, you can hold every food item with one hand, and the only risk of things falling comes from you messing up taking a bite. If you go to McDonald's in a drive, and you're the one driving, that's hard to eat. Unless you get only nuggets and fries. You can't really dip into sauce. Okay, you can't dip into sauce while you're driving. That's dangerous. You know? You also can't eat anything else. Like, you can't get a burger because, no, that is in some way, shape, or form going to fall apart a little bit. There's no burger that comes from anywhere that isn't going to fall apart just a little bit when you're eating it and get on your fingers and get it greasy and stuff, you know? It's the same for places that aren't burgers, you know? Actually, no, I think everything else is... No, okay, chicken. I was like, isn't everything burgers? Forgot about Popeyes. You know, I'm not gonna go to Popeyes because that that biscuit will kill me if I try to eat it and drive. It'll also leave so many crumbs everywhere. Oh God, the crumbs. Can't eat chicken on the bone because then I have a bunch of bones. And that's kind of gross because I kind of have to reach into a bag blind. You know, and I don't want to reach in and think, oh, I have still chicken left or something, and it's like just bones. It's like bones that are not wet because I was eating off of them. Like that's gross. That's gross. I might be a germaphobe. I don't know. No, I would be significantly worse if I was a germaphobe. So like Taco Bell is just, it's what you've got to do. You know, you eat the tacos or the crunch wrap or whatever. There's certain items obviously you can't get if you want to abide by the can hold it with one hand rule. You're not going to get a Mexican pizza. You're not going to get nachos. You're not going to get their back for limited time only enchilada. I now sound like a sponsored by Taco Bell person. I promise I'm not. It's very funny how this turned out. Promises. I promise to you I am not. But you're going to go get like soft tacos. You're going to go get burritos. You're going to get your crunch wraps. You might even maybe risk a hard taco. Because at least it has a little wrapper to catch itself into. You know, and you just kind of slurp it up from the wrapper. You're like, you know, and then you go about your business. That was like one solid stop. You did everything, and now you get to go shave back off all the time it took you to get to where you got. You know, to where you stopped, I mean. And then you just do that like one more time. That's what I do. I might not get breakfast on the way up, or down, either direction, at the start of the drive, because that's long. And those places aren't normally open, although I do tend to be hungry by breakfast time at that point, because I left so early. But it's just like, you know, do you guys understand? Do you get what I mean? Like, you don't want something messy. Like, something that you have to, in some fashion, have another hand in order to keep it from making a mess. Because I've seen messes get made. Like, I've seen my own father make messes trying to eat something one-handed that needs two hands in his vehicle. And I'm like, come on, man. Don't do that. I feel uncomfortable, and it's not like you spilled the crumbs on me. That's why I do what I do. Anywho, I didn't realize that I'd hit the mark I need to hit. So thank you guys so much for listening to What I Thought. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Tell me the other things you're hoping to hear me talk about on the channel, because I would love to talk about the things that you guys want me to talk about. That would be nice. It would be real good. Yeah. Yep, I lost my train of thought. Check out everything else in the Linktree link. Also, leave some kind words for Jason David Frank. I know people don't actually listen to this, and that's fine. And I also know that some people didn't watch Power Rangers. They don't know who Jason David Frank is. He's not really, like, famous outside of that area. But it would still be nice, you know. He was a big aspect of my childhood. I'm sure he's a big aspect of other people. I'm sure in some way, shape, or form the title of this episode that I'm going to come up with when it's done is going to involve him, because he deserves the honor. Rest in peace to our favorite White Ranger. Thank you guys for listening. I've been Matthew Allen, and I'll see you all next week.